be the next Sonny and Cher. Yeah, there we go. It says we're live, but if we are,
Hi,
then
everyone.
it says, y'all just caught us. Yes, that's what we do when we're not here. We're practicing. We're actually doing karaoke together,
Yeah.
and so we're practicing the act for the rebirth of Sonny and Cher. What do you think?
I love it.
I
And all
want
I
to
can
do.
say is thank God I got you, babe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Okay, I
I
do.
mean,
I got you, babe.
So welcome to the show, everybody. This is a second look. You know who I am, my lovely co-host, Miss Trina Phoenix, and we welcome you. We speak favor over your lives. We say Bosto, and Miss Trina, I got my Sky Pilot here, and we give the hugs to the world.
We got Pilot too.
Yep. This ought to catch on Facebook, and I'll catch on everywhere. Hugs to the world. So, the world needs a hug. And I don't know about you, Trina, but what I love it when my wife hugs me. I mean,
Absolutely.
I close my eyes and I just fall into that,
It's such a profound, beautiful thing, a hug.
It is. It is. I love it. And so hugs to all of y'all out there, and happy birthday if you got one, and anniversary. So we send you love. If we send you healing. So Gilbert, I saw Gilbert was back in. He has been in the hospital. Good to see you. Big Al apparently is going to go into the hospital as MRI. So listen, we know the power of sending healing. So we have two right now within the tribe. Picture them in your mind. If you don't know what Gilbert looks like, I don't think I rightly do, but I know what a Gilbert feels to me.
Yes.
And yeah, right.
Yes. All you need is the name and the frequency and the intention of connecting to the one that's
asking. And I know Gilbert is, he's a far out spirit, man. There ain't no doubt about it. So I think he sent me the email that he was in the hospital, and he says, good God, man. He said there's spirits everywhere around here.
Oh my God. I have such a hard time in that place. Oh man.
I mean, yeah, because there are two places that if you really are serious about finding out the transition, I would say that there's a place even above hospitals, and it is definitely nursing homes.
Hospice, yes.
Nursing homes that have hospice, because they are the place to go to die. And it's so interesting, Trina, that in many of these full care facilities, they have a cat. And the cat will alert the nursing staff when someone is about to transition.
Yes, they do.
Now, I don't know. I hear that dogs probably have that own sense, but the only one I know of that I can speak to is the ones where they have cats. And in the one facility, the cat will literally stay on the bed of the person making the transition.
I swear, I think they're guardians of soul.
There you go, because I can't help but not think of Isis.
Yes,
Yes. I mean, even taking the stories from the Egyptian era, you can clearly see that there's something here.
Yeah, Sekhmet, the cat-faced goddess.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's all tied together now.
It is.
Let me show everybody what, because they talk about this here global warming, and Trina, this is what we woke up to this morning. Here it is, May 11th.
Crazy.
And I was outside last night, and it was snowing so heavily because a lot of this melted. If this had been what it looks like about February, late January, we would probably have about 9 inches of snow on the ground.
Wow.
No shit.
In May, gosh.
In May. I mean, what the freak? I mean, we didn't plant a garden. Something told me this year, don't do it. It's just going to be a waste of time. And here's and I just want to give credit to the Oppenheimer Ranch report that they're a great group of people, by the way.
Yeah, Diamond is awesome.
Yeah, I just love them. And so, he brought out the fact that if you look at the first snow that we had for our snow season, September 8th, and that was the date that we had been in the mid 90s and we dropped down to below freezing. Boom, baby. So from September 8th, and I believe we're going to get snow in June. That's just me. I could be wrong, but I have a sense. That means right now, our snow days, our snow period, 247 and counting, which
Yep.
means our growing season is now reduced down to less than 90 days.
Yep.
And I know about raising tomatoes. Tomatoes like warm ground. They like it to, at night, not to get down below 265 or so, but not
Yeah.
this year.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
This is, we're going to have to start growing some food, I think, inside. It's
Mm-hmm.
not going to make it through these weather anomalies. It's just not.
It's here. And that's why today's title and our theme is that it's here. We're in it. Now
Yeah.
what? I mean, so you and I were talking beforehand.
Mhm.
Y'all ought to, if y'all could just hear some of our conversations. Oh man. Oh man, you just don't know. But anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Good.
true. So we are in it. I mean,
Yeah.
the magnetic, I don't know if it's a magnetic reversal, a magnetic shift. I'm going to show you something today. And there is an observatory who I'm really thinking about, I'm going to write to them about this group, this channel, maybe adopting them because they're doing some great work. But
Right.
anyway, the magnetic shift is happening. It's not going to, it is. I
Yep.
mean, Trina, it's here. And we're
It,
feeling the effects of it.
well, we're seeing it with the animals. We're
Oh,
seeing it
yeah.
losing their directions and beaching themselves. Yeah, this is so obvious, but it's really, we are in it now. Like you said, we are in it.
And everyone, not to get freaked out, man, just make sure you got a good, comfortable Barcalanger, massage chair, whatever it is. Make sure
Yep.
you got a good libation,
Yep.
popcorn, whatever it is, because the show has already started.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. We
It
were
has.
in the commercials and all the prelims, I think last decade. We are now, the show has started. And it's interesting, Trina, because you and I were talking prior to this. So this weekend, I was led to go back and look into my DVD collection and pulled out, and obviously, and this is the strange thing. So I'm pulling the DVD out to go put it in the Blu-ray, and Lynn's looking at the schedule of some things, and she said, "There's the movie." I said, "What movie?" She said, "The one you're about to play." So it was here. It was on, I think it was HBO. Knowing that starred Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
That movie, it blew me away sitting looking at it. It came out in 2009.
Yep.
So what's that, 11, 12 years ago?
Yep.
Yep,
Over a decade.
over a decade ago. And you know what it's about? What's happening to us right now.
Yep.
That, Hollywood is an oracle. Well, I hope everyone realizes that
Absolutely.
it is. What do you think about that, Trina?
I think it's absolutely true, even down to the Hollywood. Hollywood is a magic wand stick. It's
Yes, it is,
literally,
Big Al.
yeah, it is
And
based
you
upon,
have one.
yes, I do, a beautiful one.
See,
Yeah.
that's
So
what I'd be talking.
it's based upon what they can put into our consciousness to create the script and to also to prepare you for what's about to transpire because they know.
They do know.
Yeah, they do.
Yep. It's interesting because they're above all politics, they're above religion, what they do. And it's been interesting when the phenomenon started. What a lot of people don't realize about Hollywood, the film industry, is that it's steeped in the occult.
Oh, so deeply,
I mean, people
deeply.
just have no freaking idea how deeply occultish the film industry really is.
No, because the whole key of the system is mind control, and this is how they do it. And they, of course, they can't let you know. That'd ruin their whole plan.
Yeah, but then there's the universal law that says they can't do anything unless they tell you beforehand.
Correct. And that's why they do. They show us everything.
Don't they though?
Yeah, they do.
They do. And so getting back to the movie, knowing, and many of you who may have watched it or know of it, go watch it again. The whole thing was that in again, a child, she got tapped into the Akashic record. Maybe she got tapped into the universal mind, but she started writing events, numbers, and they turned out that they were tragedies around the world, all leading up to a final set of numbers, which was the fact that our sun will be going nova.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, the
Micro or macro,
children,
we don't know.
the aliens were here, and they are here. And they will be serving as an ark. You can call it harvesting. You can
Yep.
call it whatever you want, but they're going to be,
Yep.
and I think they have been already,
Ooh,
taking children.
I do too,
Yeah.
by the millions.
I think so as well.
Well, we lose 1 million a year almost, on average. That's the average number.
When
800
you look
something
at the issue of homelessness in American cities,
thousand.
the crimes are not reported, the rapes are not reported, but the child abductions are not reported.
Those are the most unreported.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, how does that happen? That shows
How
you
does that
top of the
happen?
chain. Top of the chain.
Yeah, it would seem that that is the
And this
case.
goes back to the agreements, that were talked about in the Eisenhower time with the Greys and the harvesting of our genetics.
Someone says, I believe our sun is going to be fine. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to blow up, but
Oh,
the science proves that it does go nova very regularly. That's what
yep.
stars do.
Yes, they
People
do.
don't seem to understand that's what stars do. They go nova.
Yes.
And
It's part of their life cycle.
it is.
Yeah, it's just part of the life cycle of a star.
I kind of look at it like a snake shedding its skin, or a
Yes.
human shedding its skin. Every, I think, what is it? Is it every 9 months or so? We literally shed our outer bodies.
Yep.
What a weird phenomenon when you think about it.
It's
But
totally true.
yeah, yeah. So check out the movie. It was very interesting because we are seeing just I think it's beyond anything. I saw something on one of my favorite shows that I record, and I'll typically watch it maybe late at night. Is the Paranormal Caught on Camera. This week was something that just blew me away, and so I'm going. So a guy gets his new iPhone 12, right? He's in Russia. And he's out looking, because I have to say the iPhone 12 has a remarkable camera system in it. 5 different lenses, telescopic. I mean, it's got, and if you get the top line, it has flare capability. I mean, it's amazing. So he's out filming, right? And you hear that he's walking on some glass. And so he picks up a shard of glass and decides to put the glass in front of the lens. Well, when he does, a freaking UFO is right there. It's huge.
Wow.
So he freaks out. He goes, "What?" So he pulls the glass away from the camera. The camera doesn't see nothing. There's
Nope.
nothing there. So he starts walking up. Then he puts the glass back up there. There is this huge ship. In fact, he gets underneath it. You can see the landing pods. You can see the freaking windows.
Oh my God.
And
Wow.
when the ship apparently is aware that what he's doing now, he's moving the glass. And by this, you now understand we are blind. They're here. They're here by the thousands.
Thousands.
Maybe into the millions, who knows? And when the ship realized, and because when he looked up and when you could see the windows, I'm sure that the people down there figured out that this dude sees, like the movie They Live.
Yeah.
He has the sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. Glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. It's about how our eyes operate. And
Yes.
we don't get to see what's really around us. We're only seeing a tenth of what's actually happening. So this is part of that veil lifting. And see, it's as
Isn't it
simple as
though?
holding up a piece of glass. I mean, it's that simple.
It
And we're
is.
starting to understand this. But when people start to realize this and they start to look around them and they start to see all these things that they did not perceive before, a lot of people are going to lose it.
Well, you've been seeing, I don't know if you've been seeing Starlink. I don't know
I
what
don't
you're
know what it
seeing.
is, Wayne. I don't
Yeah.
think it's Starlink because it they were moving independently, and one of them, like a few of them, had two lights instead of one, and Starlink only has the one ball, and they are locked. Like they seem like they're locked into a line. This thing wasn't locked; it was moving, and it was really weird because it almost looked like it was portaling in, and you would see the ball of light up, and then it would go, and then ball of light, and then it would go, ball of light, and then it would go. But when it got to the end of the line, the light would dim and flicker, and then poof, it was gone.
Gone, huh?
So it almost looked like a start and stop on this chain. And I saw it 2 nights in a row,
Two
and
nights
there
in a
weren't
row.
the
Yeah.
same amount of lights. They didn't move the same. And then the second night, I saw 5 of these bright lights that were in front of before the line started, and they weren't in a line. They were like they were in a different pattern. So yeah, I
Well,
don't think it's Starlink.
as you and I were talking beforehand, if you look at what's currently being projected out there, and this is, you look at Netflix, you look at Amazon Prime, HBO, etc., they're all showing the same telepathic message. And again, it's tell the vision, tell them the vision. And it appears an alien invasion not going to take place. It's already taking place. And it's not the way that we envisioned it.
No,
Mm-mm.
they're here.
They're here. Yeah. And that poor child, I mean, what Heather O'Rourke was her name,
Uh-huh.
that starred in you heard the tragedy about her death, right?
No, I didn't. I think I did.
Woo! I mean, they attribute it to something that went wrong when they were filming the third Poltergeist. And her death is still been considered suspicious in the way that she died. It was quite apparent that they connected into something. The interesting movie about Poltergeist is what it revealed about the other realm. That the other realm is not in heaven, it's not in hell, it's literally right here.
You know, Wayne, that was one of the first, I mean, really critical, important times I literally got a message that flipped my brain around was when she was telling them, go to the light, go to
Go
the
to the
light.
light.
Like,
Yeah.
no, don't go to the light. No, don't
Go
go
to
to
the light,
right.
Carolyn.
And
Go to the light,
I was like,
Carolyn.
why is she saying that? Like something hit me. This is truth, and you need to understand this. And I was like 10 years old when I saw that. I had no idea what that meant. But I was like, I knew that there was some kind of truth to this
Well,
about this.
it showed that the light was the trap.
That's what
I keep,
that's what she figured out at that
yeah.
moment. And I felt the revelation of, oh my God, this is a trap. And I felt that. And I was like, there's truth to this. And I was young. I didn't know.
Well, I can tell you in that movie, and you go back and watch it, because what it's revealing is that the light is the trap. And once you go into the light, you're in darkness. And I tell people, if you go to the darkness, you will be entering into the light. Everything is reversed, folks. Everything.
Inverted.
It's
Yes,
inverted. Absolutely.
it's inverted. Everything is upside down and backwards and flipped.
And if you say no to the light, and if you remember, they gave another clue in 1996 in the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze in that role, and Demi Moore. And that when Sam died, the light was there, but for a moment, and you saw that he resisted the light and it went,
Yep.
and suddenly now he is here.
Yes.
And what he realized is that there's billions of us. Yeah. Heavy stuff,
Trillions.
folks.
I think trillions if we could see the actual other inhabitants. Because
Yeah.
there's billions of us humans walking around in flesh, but
Yeah.
there's trillions of things that don't have a bodysuit.
And I think so often, I had a delightful conversation yesterday afternoon, and want to thank the person for the conversation. The fact that she was saying that you sparked something when I said that the darkness is really the natural state of things. If you look at it and see it even from the doctrines, particularly the Abrahamic doctrines, in the beginning was darkness.
Yes.
The false deity had to bring in the false light. It said, let there be light, which is the biggest clue. Light is artificial.
Yes. This light in this construct. I
This
think
light.
this
And
light we have is it was captured and it's being projected. So that's why they use the mirrors, and the mirrors invert and flip
they
everything.
do. We
So
see invertedly.
that's
We
right.
don't realize it. What we're actually seeing is an inverted reflection or a picture of what's actually out there.
Yes.
In the Bronze Book, the Colburn Bible, in one of the stories of the beginnings is a time when the world was dark. But people don't understand dark is light. And
Yeah.
there was another genus of us. We thrived. The light of Saturn was called the golden light. That was the light that we flourished in. The oceans had intelligent beings, and it was a time where they say that we were in harmony with everything.
We
And
had
then,
peace of mind is what I keep hearing.
ooh,
Where
that's a good one.
peace of mind, because we are
Yeah,
all a peace of mind. And when we unify and come together with thought and we come into harmony with nature, it changes the mind. And the peace of mind is what we need to really start focusing in on, is the peace of mind. And peace, think about it, peace stops war. And it stops all the, it's crazy, but it's like, I think in those original times, that's what we had, Wayne. We had a peace within our mind. It was in harmony.
I've
It
seen
was,
a lot of people that and a lot of people have different beliefs that Saturn is Satan. Satan doesn't exist, folks. How many times do I have to tell you this? Satan doesn't exist. It's a made up construct. But maybe think about this. If you think that it was taken over by Yahweh, the Elohim, that I can understand. I think Saturn has been gotten a bad rap.
I do too.
I think Saturn in its original beauty was just that. It was beautiful.
I do too.
And when the Elohim came into this solar system,
But I think, Wayne, it's something happened to our mind. It got
yeah,
taken over by a negative, dark influence. And that's what they say is the introduction to the serpent in the garden, which is the parasite. And parasites need a host.
yeah. It's interesting because, I look at this from a different perspective now. I was 50 years a Christian. I am still an ordained minister. I can marry you and I can bury you legally. Um, and, I know of that story extremely well. And I was meditating yesterday evening, and I think the powers that, in my view now, how I see things, there's the original consciousness,
Mhm.
because without consciousness, nothing exists.
No, because there's no awareness.
There's no observer.
Nothing.
There's
Nothing.
no experiencer.
Yep.
So I think that which is responsible for my consciousness, because without my consciousness, I wouldn't have any entity. I wouldn't have an identity. I wouldn't be an entity. I mean, isn't that what we are?
Yes.
I think we're all entities.
You know, it
Some
was
would look
amazing.
at us.
You were talking yesterday about the me or
Yeah,
I.
or the I, yes.
And the whole time you were talking about that when I was driving home, I kept hearing me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I. I kept hearing that over
It's
and
the
over again.
Trinity. It's the Holy
Yes,
Trinity.
yes. And then I kept seeing me, higher self, and then oversoul. And it's like, it's so profound how I think to have a separation from this awareness consciousness thing that exists, this ability to observe, to have the ability to actually observe there's a prism there's a reflection because it comes through the eye. So it goes about with what we can perceive or focus in or see. So it's all about our vision, all of it.
And it's so true because
And what
it's
if
all
those three parts of us are the lenses that we have to filter our consciousness through to be able to perceive any given reality?
I see at times for me,
Mhm.
I'm in a place that I don't have a form.
Yeah,
I am a thought. I don't know how to say that. I mean,
I see it too, Wayne, and I've just
yeah,
seen it. It's a replica of a sun. It's like a star.
it's
It looks like a
weird.
star. It's to
It,
me, it's like that's why they say ye are of the stars of the skies. Well, we're probably one of those lights up there in the heavens above us, and that's what's actually projecting your avatar.
it's
It's coming
interesting.
through the projector of the starlight because the dust of the star is what animates and creates your body. It's from your star, your consciousness, your awareness, your point of light that has a specific location where it can shoot its energy down and focus and animate and create bodies.
And now, if we take that a step further, so everyone, I know a lot of people are into the Schumann resonance.
Oh, yeah.
But you see, I see the Schumann resonance as what Ariel was trying to teach us. The Schumann resonance is the prison grid.
Yeah.
And I think when you're seeing it intensify is because the grid is predicated upon the electromagnetic field of the earth.
Yeah. It's breaking the frequency fence.
Thank you. That's it. I want to show everyone this, by the way. So check this out, folks. Um, this is the when this map is, you can see this is the year 2020. This is, and I don't know if there's a more updated one, but this is the way our current magnetic field looks like. And Trina, if you look at this, it's it can be alarming or it's simply warning us. If you can see it now, we have a dipole that has formed in the northern hemisphere. We have the magnetic north, which is in Siberia. But then we also still have this weakening over here up into the Yukon, Upper Canada. This is the South Atlantic anomaly, and you can see that it is now stronger than what even the North Pole is. This is the South Pole magnetic. It is now off the continent of Antarctica, and it's probably up here now. So this tells us that the game is on.
Oh, it is so on.
It is so on. I
It's
love
so
that.
on.
It's so on. I mean,
So
uh,
on.
and then I have one more. So this is the World Digital Magnetic Anomaly Map. Now, this
Wow.
gets really interesting. It does, I tell you, because let me expand it so we can get a little better view because this gets weird, folks.
Is that purple plasma?
Well, the purple is where all the anomalies are intensifying. And you can see we're seeing what's happening in the northern hemisphere. But if you look at where eventually they believe both poles are going to show up, you can begin to see there's virtually, it's almost like a bullseye has appeared. And
Wow.
look how the waves come down. Right from the northern hemisphere, you can see there's rivers of magnetic energy, whatever you want to call it, literally flowing down to the what we call our equator. NASA, I read a thing today which is interesting. They're now saying, and here's what I'm saying perfectly over here. Here you see, and then you see this one. Is our planet in the process of tilting? Is that what we're experiencing? We're seeing it in the other planets. I have other goodies too, Trina.
I mean, it's like
Um,
I keep seeing like a reboot of an entire computer system.
yes.
That's what I
You
see.
were talking about Antarctica when we had first come on, right?
Yeah.
So let me show you something. If I can get it expanded. There we go. So check this out. I have a number of videos that, here we go. So you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. This is how Antarctica is connected to everything, and this is going to really get you. So it does look like a brain, doesn't it? Looks
So
like,
totally. Oh my
doesn't it?
gosh.
Antarctica, it has, and watch what happens here. So we're going back 30 million years. Watch this. You and I were talking about last week about Lumeria. Um,
I just heard they fractured our mind.
that would be a great interpretation.
Oh, wow.
Way to go.
Wow.
Love that.
Fractured our mind.
Weird, isn't
Oh,
it?
crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait till you see this one.
Oh,
Let's see. Bum. Okay, let me pull up this one. I have 4 videos.
I was telling Wayne this morning, I keep hearing Mountain Maru. It's the magnetic. They say the
Yes,
magnetic
that you
mountain.
had that insight.
Yeah, and then I kept hearing Maru. Me are you. Me are you. So it's
Me,
again,
myself, and I.
yes, there you go. Goes right back to that.
All right, so check this out, folks. So this is what's happening. So we're about to be hit, by the way. It will be tomorrow morning here in the northern hemisphere on this side, with the first head-on CME. And we had a filament snap 2 days ago. This is a very interesting video. So this is what's happening. There are things happening in the northern hemisphere that they're now beginning to think that we have actually, our planet is in the process of tilting. It's not going to be a sudden tilt, but it's,
Yeah, it's moving slowly.
so we now know, and this is the ESA, and they're the ones that are tracking all the energy that's going through both northern and southern. And the swarm measures shows that the energy is preferentially channeled to the northern hemisphere where most of us live.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what's happening. It's a cycle, it appears, Trina. It's happened before and it's happening now.
See how the one goes through the zero and
Yes.
creates the pole? That's what I'm
Yes.
seeing. That's how we become awareness. Consciousness births from that one. That one. That line creates a new field.
Yep.
Wow.
So I have one other that really begins to show what's happening, because this is what's happening to other planets. So let me get this one. Because remember that South Atlantic anomaly I showed you, right? Now get ready to see where it all ties into. So let me get us pulled up here. Check this one out, folks. Trina, watch this. So here is that anomaly, right? Look what's happened over the last, well, you can see it. We start in June 20th, 2014. Look at the anomalies, the magnetic anomalies. Ready? Here we go.
Holy moly.
Yeah. It's been there right in front of our face. It's just they're not telling the public. Look at this.
Wow.
We're going to go all the way up to 2020, folks. This is not hyperbole.
This is
This
why
is,
so much of us have been so affected here in America.
yes, look over a yes.
Look at that. I mean, it is so targeted on the North America. Wow.
And if you look at what's happening in South America, folks, y'all probably know it. We've got listeners down there, but there it is. I mean, look at this. And the data doesn't lie. It's been telling us all along.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot. No
It
wonder it's
is.
like everybody's heads and everything are feeling so weird. These magnetics, because that
Yeah.
affects our brain. This is so affecting our brain.
I have one more. Let me show you this one. Um, Kind of brings it into focus now about, when you see the fact that a camera that has another piece of glass in front of it suddenly shows a material object in the sky defying gravity, and then you remove the piece of glass and it disappears. That's weird.
Just
It
means
tells
that we can't see.
we can't see,
We
and
can't
how easily
see.
we are.
Yeah, we can't see in our own world.
Isn't That's the weird thing. So this is what the ESA, this is how they track the magnetic disturbances now. So we now know where, watch this. This is the North Pole from 1840 to 2019. There you see it, 1880. It's over on the left.
Yeah.
1920, 1960. Then something happens in the year 2000. Look at that.
Wow.
And folks, if we could show you what's current, this is absolutely mind-boggling. It's here, it's happening, and it's as real as we can get.
I wonder what caused that in 2000.
Well, I think it's when the galactic sheet first hit us.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, I think these are hundreds of years events. And,
That is.
if you go back to the very first century, it is actually thought that that's when the disturbance, the weakening, that was apparently when we were at our peak in magnetic intensity, and it started weakening from the first century, and now we're the caboose. There's no stopping it. And in fact, we know this with the observatory over there, and I think they're somewhere in England, they may be in Ireland. I'm going to feature them. Um, they now know in March, our magnetic North Pole did what they called a hyper jump. That in the month of March, it moved 5.3 miles in 1 month. If you extrapolate that on a consistent basis, that is frightening, because you begin to see, let's say within 10 years, you now have moved 700 miles to the south. We will cross the tipping point. The tipping point of no return is when our magnetic north crosses the 40-degree latitude line. There's no turning back. And I think that this is what we're seeing taking place in the weather now. I think that we have entered into the beginning. I'm going to get Dwayne back on with Adapt 2030,
Uh-huh.
because I really do believe where you are at, I think you're going to end up being a tropical place in the
I do
desert.
too. I do too.
Yeah.
I do. That's what I've been seeing. It's so funny when I was you got some oceanfront property.
Might be true on that.
That's what's coming. I've
Yeah.
seen multiple times, and it will change the climate. We will get more humidity, which we already have. I've been here my whole life. So we, the dry desert air stuff, it's still drier than most places, but it's not like it used to be. We literally had no humidity, and now we do.
We have more rain here this last month than we had all of last year in 1 month. And we're up in a semi-arid, Colorado, out here on the western eastern plains. It's considered a semi-arid desert.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's changing. Everything's changing.
Did
This
you
is
see the
like,
videos in Yemen that came out of
oh,
Yemen and Saudi Arabia?
with the water,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I mean, that one video showed this. This is weird, folks. It was like it was like the ocean being poured from the sky down into the desert.
Yes. And then
It's
they got
weird.
water coming up out of the ocean.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is,
They say Yemen is sinking. They say Mexico City is sinking. I don't know. A lot of people.
you know,
So
I
go ahead,
wonder,
hon.
I wonder if some of this too is part of what's going on with redirecting energy flow systems that are from the tunnels beneath the earth.
Mm, yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of merit to all
Things
this.
that were barricaded off are being open, and I think things that were open are being barricaded off.
I'm kind
Things
of
to
in that
flow of
camp that
water.
says that the original owners of this planet, they never left. They moved inside.
Oh yeah,
I'm convinced of it.
I know it.
I think
Yes.
they've witnessed our species, Cro-Magnon, Homo erectus, you go far back as you want. They have seen us be extinct time after time after time.
Yes.
There are some that say, in recent discoveries, for instance, off the coast of India, I'm reading this fantastic book. Thank you, Marsha. Love you, dear. Um, it's the book of escaping what the effects of Eden, is that we have only explored less than 10% of the oceans,
Yep.
and that there are vast civilizations under the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Off-world extraterrestrial.
I think so.
I know so. I've astral. You can see them.
So, Trina, you're the perfect person to ask this. So we now know that the whole field is in flux.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I think we're seeing, for instance, we have seen, I don't know about you, but in the last couple of weeks, there are these mass events of violence. I mean, Denver is becoming, it's so unsafe to be in these cities. You're having people freak out. Uh, Lynn and I were talking about this, the story last week of the sixth grade girl, 11 years old, who comes in to her school with a firearm and begins to shoot other students. When I was 11, the last thing on my mind was ever doing something like that.
Yeah, mine was finding wood for the tree fort.
I
Really?
mean, I seriously, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's becoming, I know I encountered an event where a person in a road rage pulled a gun on me, pulled a gun on a number of us.
Yeah.
Um, I am saying that there is a direct correlation between the chemicals, between everything else, and now just like animals that whales, dolphins that use birds that use the magnetic frequencies for direction. I think it's driving us crazy. That's just me.
I think you've got two different reactions to this magnetic anomaly. You have ones who are going to be absolutely, basically zombified. So they're going to be controlled by the signals. They're not going to be controlled by their spirit. They will literally be controlled by the signals. And I think a lot of these people are actually getting these signals and they're not able to control it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of this is from the medications and the video games and the
so let's
program.
go deeper on that, because to me, you see, I don't believe we're all the same. We
No.
all may have these flesh suits, but I don't think we're all the same on the inside. And I think we all didn't come from the same place.
No.
I'm convinced of that, because these signals, these frequencies, these magnetic waves now that are coming through and they're bombarding us, our brains are highly sensitive to electromagnetic signals. I have my EF meter here, and we know that, for instance, I can put it over here and it'll go off because there's no
Yep.
shielding over here. So, but this affects our brain. Did you see
For
that?
sure.
Wow.
You.
Now that's weird. It shouldn't happen.
That's
Hmm.
wow.
That is
Oh, I
weird.
wonder if it's the headphones.
I bet you it is.
I was gonna say it's the headphones, Wayne.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
literally
It's
just heard it's the headphones. I was
it's the
like,
headphones. I'm going,
it's the headphones.
what a
Don't need
freak.
to worry, it's just the headphones.
I told y'all to get the hell out of here. Anyway, but it seems to me that they're separating us already through
Yes.
the great experiment that's taking place.
Yes.
Now we're seeing that there are individuals that apparently are much more controllable, to be irritable, become unstable. And while there are others of us who we seem to almost be, shall I say, inoculated from it.
Uh-huh. Yep. It's because of your frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's really weird too. I mean, I don't know what this means, but I literally I heard something about some of us, the viruses that we've already contracted are going to be what saves us from the infiltration of this one.
Hmm.
So like you with the spinal meningitis,
Mm-hmm.
I keep hearing that that's going to protect you from this one because you already have antibodies from that one, and that was the introduction to this one. So I keep hearing something like that. I'm trying to make sense of it, but I think that's what we might be looking at.
I think there's some legitimacy to this. I mean, when Lynn got sick, I mean, my dear wife was sick, and I took care of her, and was obviously, exposed, but I never felt anything.
Yep.
You know, wasn't until this shedding event that's starting to take place, and that's just
But that's the thing. That's what I keep hearing though. The shedding is it's trying to activate viruses, but it's activating the old viruses in your body so it can produce the T cells so it can keep you from getting the new one. Because you have a natural immunity, which causes a natural mutation. But that
How
spinal meningitis
interesting. And Lyme
virus,
disease. I had the Lyme
yes,
disease at
and
the same
Lyme, but
time. Yeah.
that those two viruses, they're telling me that is a combination link that's going to protect you from what's coming.
It's interesting. My neurologist, Dr. Sophia, God, I tell you, I just love that woman. She saved my life. But when she first drew out the spinal fluid for me, I mean, I was already in a coma. It was interesting. She kept a sample of it because I didn't realize it, but my whole system, my brain, in fact, was infected with these spirochetes, and it settled into my spinal column.
Yeah.
Thus, when the meningitis set in, the spirochetes just amplified what the meningitis was going to try to do to kill me. But it's interesting how you mentioned that, because there has to be a residual. And there's others who have had Lyme disease, others who have, in fact, had other similar type of invasions.
Yes. Chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, herpes, spinal meningitis, the RSV virus, the SARS virus. I'm hearing hepatitis virus. I'm hearing a lot of these have those codes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And that's the thing. How interesting, because with Big Brother listening in, so you have to almost do it by code. But it's interesting because it rewrites the code.
Yes.
And I'm
And that's
going,
what.
No,
This new
wait a minute.
does. It rewrites code.
Now, could you imagine if my immune system that had been highly compromised, you know, that if I did not have the original program running, I can't even begin to imagine that if I had something that would rewrite the program and probably wouldn't have any way of knowing how to handle that, it would have killed me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But your organic source code was stronger than the artificial
See,
code that was presented.
it's like David Barry said. He said, a lot of us have been practicing for a long time. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, 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 yes. We have
Correct.
been.
Yes.
So what are you feeling these days, my dear?
So much.
You've been
So
seeing, you said you
much.
got a lot of downloads.
Yes, I keep getting so much information. It's like literally today my brain hurts. I literally my whole head feels like it's trying to expand within my brain. It literally feels that way. Um, I keep seeing,
That's a package, by the way, ready to unfold.
yeah, it
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah.
the Antarctica is the representation of the crown, and that the ice is melting on the crown, which is the unlocking of our pineal glands and our higher abilities. And this magnetic pulsing is part of this breaking free of this magnetic cage that we've been in for thousands of years. And it hurts a little bit.
I wonder, Trina, this has happened before. Humans
Yes,
have encountered this. I
yes.
cannot help but not think that what happened? Do you think that we like the movies, Purge, did we just simply go nuts?
I
Were
think
there
it's
a group
kind
of
of
us
like
that left?
knowing. I think it's kind of like the movie Knowing. I think there's some type of solar flash and it recodes the matrix. And I think some people are taken off world, some people go underground, some people live through it, some people like I think all different things happen. But when this recodes, that's why we would probably had giants and larger plants and stuff before, because the magnetic fields were different. So everything changes the entire environment, the entire system.
Very good observation. I've never heard anyone bring that particular point out for the Giants. Wow, that's very cool. I'm going to look into that. I have never
That
heard that, Trina. That's
that
very
it
profound.
was the promotion of the giant gene, which affected many different species through the new solar
It
when
would be a
light
different
coded.
radiation too.
Yes, when the light
Yeah,
coded
yeah.
things, some things got really big, and then the atmosphere was it was in alignment with those changes. So that's what I mean. Our atmosphere is changing, so we can be in alignment with this new thing that's coming online.
It's interesting how you said that because I think about Gobi Tepe is the fact that so those people buried those monuments purposely. They
Yeah,
knew that there was something coming in, whether it was a comet, whether it was a solar flash, whatever it was, it kicked the Earth's ass.
yes,
I actually wrote in my notes that for a show I'm going to be doing on the Steiger perspective, I have contended even when I was back in theology, was that Genesis 2, 4, and 5, I believe, is the story of the extinction of the 6-day people. In Genesis 1, we have the story of the 6-day people. And then in Genesis 2, 4, and 5, it said that the earth had no vegetation. It was
yes.
burnt.
It was harpazo, null and void.
So
Yeah.
there was a solar flash or something that came through
Uh-huh.
because it said that there was no vegetation and there was no man to till the soil.
Yep.
And
I,
that's just my theory. There's a lot who happen to think
no,
that that
Wayne, I do. I think we've gone through this multiple times, and I think that's what these first man, Adam, Catamon, Adam, this and all this. Yeah, this is what this is because through these cycles, we do it recodes the entire matrix, and you got to
it
think about it.
recodes us.
Yeah, because you got to think about it.
Holy
Matrix
crap. What
Matrix.
if the jab is the prelude?
It is, but it's for the bifurcation. See, there's a
Yes.
division between,
Yes.
there's the two hemispheres of the brain. You got some going into the left and some going into the right.
Mm, 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 mm.
Bifurcation. And
I love
that's
that.
the choosing mechanism because it's the DNA, RNA recoding. So they will be recoded into an artificial system, and we will be recoding into the more organic systems.
So what we're seeing is the wheat and the chaff
Yes,
being
the
the
ones who bought the
tares.
lie and the ones
Yeah.
who knew to
Yeah. The
stay
wheat
in
and the
the
tares,
peace of, I have what I need. I know thyself. I
And if you
know
take
I
that,
am.
it was hijacked. I think originally it must have been a great philosophy, but I love that the separation would be from the wheat and the tares.
Absolutely.
Allow them to grow, let them mature, and then when the event happens, there would be a natural separation.
And it's going to be within the
Wow. Who would have thought it would have been?
genetics.
Holy crap. It's like, who would have thought that you would have had this consciousness come in and was never talking about a religion, was talking about science, was
Yeah.
talking about cosmology, talking about how we are part of this universe, that there is things that when our earth reacts, we react.
Yes.
And I remember what he said. He said the answer laid within.
Yes.
Hmm.
And that's the whole deception. The ones who were trying to save their lives by going to the outside man are probably going to
It's
lose
one.
their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the ones that don't care to lose their life because we know that we're more than the flesh, we're the ones that are probably going to live.
My visitors, when they visit, I remember one telling me about heaven because I was standing outside and I literally saw people going in through the gate.
Yeah.
And I saw family members.
Yeah.
And the whatever the being was says, "How do you feel about this?" And I said, "That would be hell for me."
Mhm.
And I remember it was very distinctly asked, "Do you feel a loss?" And I remember very distinctly before I woke up, no,
Mm.
it doesn't bother me. I don't, that is a pre-programmed next step reality.
Yep.
See, I believe that there's going to be many of us. It's like with Brian. I believe that Brian's hanging out, waiting. It's probably got Jerry up there as well.
Yep.
And I think that this will be a great migration that has happened before. I think there have been groups of spirits or souls who have made it to the intermediate range. And I believe that I call it a remnant, that a remnant of us,
Yes.
where would we go? If they didn't wipe our memory, there's no place that we would fit in.
Mm-mm. You know, it's always been about the truth shall set you free.
Mhm.
So through our eyes, we see their vision. We don't see the truth because the truth has been hijacked through the light, the false reflective light. So now everything that we see is we focus outside of ourselves when our origins, everything was coming from inside of ourselves. So everything is backwards. And to get out of this to me is about the chains of the codes, the genetics.
You know what
Because
I found out about the truth?
what?
You see, I believe when that consciousness, whether you want to call it, the Lord, whatever,
Mhm.
each of us hold our own truth. My truth is
Yes,
not going to be your truth.
never will be.
Never will be. But if I try to adapt your truth to be my truth,
Won't work.
it won't work. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll be calling you all the time on the phone, coming over, going, what the heck? And after
right.
a while, it will become burdensome to you.
Well, that's the thing. It's like we need to find our own truth because each of us hold a piece of the wholeness of the fullness of it. Truth is
Yes.
about where you are in consciousness. It's just like the blind people that were all looking at the elephant. Well, I see a snake because it was the tail, and I see this because it's the trunk, and I see this because it's the rib cage. It's all going to be about where are you in the mind?
Yeah,
Where is
because if I'm seeing the tail and you're seeing the head,
the trunk? We're
yeah.
both holding a snake, but they're different. They're not even snakes, and they're not even the same part of the elephant.
And so I tried to adapt your truth. You tried to adapt to mine. And the
It
next
won't
thing you,
work.
yeah, we're going, what? And I think that's where we are today in this world, you
Yes,
know?
and this is what I keep seeing with this peace of mind. It's about understanding all the perceptions are valid,
Yeah.
not fighting against them, but really finding out where is my point of view.
If we could just learn to accept each other's truth.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I mean,
And know
imagine
that it's
how,
okay.
could you imagine where that would lead us? Oh no, that actually might lead to peace and harmony
I was
and
going to say
unity.
peace of mind. It would lead us
Yeah.
to peace of mind because we would understand to focus on ourself,
Mm-hmm.
which is something I taught my children when they were very young because they would fight. And I would be like, focus on yourself. And they would be like,
I have to
focus on
say,
yourself.
I would love to have had a cool mom like you. I mean, probably would have saved myself a lot of wear and tear, but
Yeah, but like I said, I had to
you're
go
groovy.
through
Belated
similar.
happy
Yeah, I had to
Mother's
go through
Day.
stuff to get to where I am, just like you went. So I think it's
Yeah,
how we got to that place.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, well, that wasn't working for me, so let's try something different with the kids. So
But to be able to have a mom that would be that open-minded and that kind of, that's this really kind of cool.
I couldn't help it. I was seeing from the time I was 3 years old. I was like, oh shit. And then the kids, I knew that they could see and they could perceive. And I would always be like so interested in why are you doing that? What's the driving force within you that's wanting to create this chaos? Why would
Hmm.
you choose that instead of happiness? What's inside of you that needs to be worked on? Do you even know what it is?
I contend
They would,
most people don't.
they would look at me, I'd be like, go take a time out and go figure out how you could feel better. What does that look like? And what is that going to mean that you need? What is it that you're trying to receive that you feel that you don't have? Come back and tell me that when you can figure it out, because I need to know. So they'd come back, they're like, well, I was mad because they took this toy and that was my first and da 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 da. And I was, and we would just go through these processes. And I'm like, so you're focusing on what they're doing instead of focusing on your own creation. So you're frustrated because they're out creating you. Your frustration is because you're not doing your job as a creator. And they would be like, go create your vision.
Mom?
Yeah, they're like,
Hear you.
yeah. So yeah, a lot of it, 90% of the children, they would really jump leaps and bounds in their consciousness when you would keep directing them to their own internal workings, because they always want to blame the other kid or blame the other one or blame this or blame that. And it's like, no,
Well,
where it's coming from inside of you.
if more people had that truth.
Mhm.
All right, so I'll big out. The cards, by the way, are, I think it's the Crystal Network. The link works. Someone said it didn't work. It does. So I know that Al went out on faith and ordered these at
Yeah.
expense to himself. Let's not make sure that he holds the bag. That's how
Right.
I say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Trina, this hour has gone by like that. I
Off we
mean,
go. It's
it's
crazy.
always just, it's such a journey. It's
It
really,
is learning so much about what we are. And,
oh,
that's been the biggest riddle.
I contend that if we don't know who and what we are, when you pass over to the other side, you're going to be asked, who are you?
Yeah.
And if you don't
I
have
love
that
too when you were
answer,
talking about the name. Wayne, you're so right about that name thing, because that's the foundation for all of our slavery. So
it is.
you're so right.
If a person could discover what your true name is, you break the matrix.
I might know what mine is, but I can't say it. I can't speak it. I can't even make the sounds of it. So
We're
if
going
you
to talk about that maybe next week, because
just
that's
if you can
odd
get
that
me
you say
something like
that.
that, that you're getting close.
I had a again one of the night visions, and we're going to get into that because names. It's very interesting if you look at all the gods, and we're going to go over on this, but they all have names. I mean, Yahweh has 72 names. Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, you
Pardon
know.
my French, means
Yeah.
they're somebody's bitch.
If
Because
y'all
your
got off
owner,
early, you just missed the whole show right
yeah,
there.
because your owner names you. That's why your parents give you your name, because they created you. They're claiming
Uh,
ownership of you.
we got to make a t-shirt with that.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right,
The
so
food's
you're on
awesome.
Friday night over on the is it still
Andromeda.
Andromeda 7? Is it still that? I mean, I don't
It's the Andromeda Celestial Gateway, I think.
okay, I know they've kind of changed and adapted on that. Well, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
what 9 p.m. Eastern, or is it on
It
Friday
is,
night?
no, it's earlier than that. It's 6 p.m. for me. So
That
yeah,
would
9 p.m. You're
be
right.
9
You're
p.m.
correct.
Eastern. Yep.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, you're correct.
And then you're on with
Robert,
Robert
Milky
V
Way Soul
on
Tribe.
Milky Way
Yes,
Soul
and
Tribe
that's
on
on
Saturday
Saturday
nights,
night, and that's an hour later, so 10 p.m. Eastern.
10 p.m. Yeah. And
And then
then
Tuesdays.
you're here. I'm glad you stopped by. I mean,
One of my
it's a
favorite
fun
parts of
show.
my week.
Trina, we have a fun time here. We
We do.
are the wave. Time for a smooth change. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, indeed. I hear Little River Band every time. Smooth change.
I love that song.
Oh, that's a great song. Little
Oh,
River. Let me tell you, you folks from Australia, we love you because y'all gave us some really good music.
oh, absolutely.
The New Minstrel Singers, who known from Australia. Did you know, by the way, that the gal who was the main singer of, I think there was 3 or 4 in the band, they had the largest concert in Australia that still has never been beat since. Yeah, who'd have thought back in the 60s?
That's awesome.
Someday soon. Anyway,
You hear about how the aliens, one of the most favorite things that they love about this planet is music.
I can see that.
And it's not so much the words. They prefer it without the words, but it's the emotions that come from the sounds of the
I've
music.
had more than one alien dancing with me. Didn't see them, but they were there.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I think this is one of the magics of what we
Mm.
are, is we literally carry a song within us. And that song of you, that vibration, that is your name.
It's like Lynn says, when I pass over, I'm bringing like a freaking freight train full of jukeboxes because I got them all filled. It's like, so I'm thinking of Brewer and Shipley, Richie Tai Tai, spirits dancing all around my head makes me glad that I'm not dead.
That's
Richie
right.
Tai Tai. Yeah, yeah, that's all I got to say. Boom, boom, boom. Well, Miss Trina, love you, dear.
I love you too.
You know, it's just so
I
cool.
love you,
We
Soul
love
Tribe.
all of
You guys are
y'all.
the best.
Y'all are just absolutely tell you, this is the group. This is the tribe. That's all I got. Hey, Miss Julianne Payne.
Hi,
Good to
Julie.
see you, hon. Mary Wins, hello. We love you as well. And Teresa, good to see you, my love. Woke dealer, Pink Ariza. I like that.
Yeah.
Claudette, good to see you. See, words to the music are the one thing dementia patients remember. Isn't that
Yes.
interesting?
Yes.
Wow.
I have a
Yes.
client who's starting to fail with his memory. And
I
I've
am Paul. We
noticed,
love you. So music,
you know
right?
what I do, Wayne?
What?
He's losing his memory. And a lot of very wealthy people do not listen to a lot of music. I don't know why. But I always bring my boombox, always. So I've been playing old music. Every time I go into his home, I play old music. And he follows me now through the house, and he sits in the room away from me, and he listens to the music. And you
Yes.
hear him, he goes, gosh, I remember that. And I remember when that was so, such a great song. And you can just see him cognitively coming back to a place where he was whole. and it's through the music.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can go, my wife, I've shown this to her many times. I time travel to music,
Everybody
spiral
does.
staircase, I can go and tell you exactly in 1969 where I was at that very moment in time when that particular song was playing on the radio.
Yep.
And
That is, I think music is one of our primary tools for time travel.
I believe so.
Mhm.
And then I remember seeing such groups like Grand Funk Railroad.
Right.
I'm just sitting here in my lonely room. Anyway, all right. All
I
right,
love
Trina.
you guys.
It's been fun. Thank you all. Thank you, moderators. Y'all are the best. Thank you.
Yes.
And everyone else of the tribe. Think agape love forever. Thank you, Susie Q. So, all right, everyone. David Castle, we send you love. Miss Nina the Mystic as well. Klaus, music is the medicine of the soul.
It
Yes. All right. Much love, everyone. We
much
will see you.